Hey, what is going on YouTube? Mike here, and today we are back with another video on the Sony Xperia L4. So if you have been following this channel, then you might have seen our initial videos on the Sony Xperia L4, and in those videos we did go over a quick unboxing and first impressions of the device, and we took it out for a spin with some games as well. Now the Xperia L4 is a far cry from the more high-end Sony smartphones, such as the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II and the Xperia 5 Mark II. Of course, this is evident in its price, which is set at just below $200. This is due to the Xperia L4's low-end specs, which include a Helio P22 chipset, a 720 by 1680 resolution display, and a basic 3 gigs of RAM. More interestingly, the Xperia L4 comes with a triple camera setup, which includes a 13 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultrawide lens, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. On the front is an 8 megapixel selfie camera, and you get the ability to record videos at 30 frames per second at 1080p resolution. Now, based on these camera specs, you would imagine that you can get decent photographs on the Xperia L4. So today, let's see how it performs. I took the device outside for a socially distant, COVID-safe camera test, and so I've compiled some camera samples shot on the Xperia L4. Let's go through some photo and video samples and see what this phone is capable of. I used the stock camera app on this device just to see how Sony has prepared the L4 for some real-world usage. Alright, so let's start with some outdoor shots. The Xperia L4 can get you some great photos, provided that you have enough lighting on your subjects and scenery. In general, images come out decent, but unfortunately the Xperia L4 is not exempt from issues which plague most budget smartphones, such as the lack of contrast and unimpressive dynamic range. I'll let you be the judge though as we go through these photos. Night mode is pretty much a disappointment. You won't get any Pixel 3a or iPhone level performance here obviously. Now I've noticed that the Xperia L4 does struggle with indoor photography as well. In a lot of cases I got a lot of noise ingrained in my photos, especially in situations where there wasn't enough lighting. Of course, as with the outdoor shots earlier, lighting does help a bit, and the addition of HDR mode seems to help balance out contrast. One more thing I have noticed is that for some reason I couldn't set HDR to activate automatically, forcing me to dig into my camera settings every time just to activate it. Portrait mode is pretty much hit or miss on the Xperia L4. Now it does come with some additional face enhancing effects, and you can adjust the depth of field on your selfie portraits. In general, you can get good results on the front facing camera, however, edges around subjects aren't the best looking. The rear camera can prove challenging at times as well. A lot of times it will have trouble focusing on subjects, and will tell you that you're either too close or too far away from your subject to get a decent portrait shot. This can get annoying, and I've had better success taking bokeh shots on the phone's standard camera settings. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Sony Xperia L4 does come with a 5 megapixel ultra-wide camera. It's decent at best, and maybe you can get creative and take some good shots every now and then, but there are better options out there. Of course, it is a nice addition at this price range, and it's better than not having an ultra-wide sensor at all. As far as video capabilities go, the Xperia L4 gives you just the basics. There is no optical image stabilization here, no 4K video at 60 frames per second, but given the price of this phone, that is to be expected. Video is on par with a lot of other budget smartphones. Shifts in contrast and lighting somewhat ruin your video shooting experience, so that is something to take into consideration. Since there's no OIS, I wouldn't really attempt to shoot videos while on the move as footage comes out shaky with no stabilization whatsoever. The same criticisms can be said for the front camera, which is likewise basic. So there you have it. For a device offered at such an affordable price, the Sony Xperia L4 does have its shortcomings, particularly in the camera department. Of course, the whole point behind this phone is the affordable price tag, and if you're not into mobile photography, then the Xperia L4 should serve you well with regards to standard smartphone stuff. As always, I do appreciate you guys for dropping by the channel. If you enjoyed this video or any of the other stuff on this channel, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. Once again, thanks for watching.